Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. We have a real weird one today. It looks like Forbes may have made a mistake, and that may have really bummed out James Gunn. Yeah, I don't see how those things are related either, but believe me, they are, so let's get into it. Here we go. So it looks like Forbes may have gotten something wrong. You see, James Gunn is upset. He shoots down Forbes' Supergirl budget claims. He seems to think that missing it is a big problem. Now, of course, this story just ran, and look, it has a great picture. I mean, you got Supergirl right there. Supergirl's coming. Supergirl's going to save the day. We're going to have a super summer coming up. But it looks like the claims about the budget weren't accurate. And according to Matt McGloin, who says it in a humorous way, well, look at that. Forbes got something wrong. Shocking, I know. Well, let's be fair. There are certain people at Forbes that don't get anything wrong, and they back everything they say with numbers. Of course, I'm speaking of Caroline Reed, but then you have other people who are a little faster, a little looser, a little less accurate. Well, Forbes claims a $200 million budget for the Milly Alcock film Supergirl. $200 million. And if that were true, the break-even point would land somewhere around $500 million. And we know that hitting $500 million for a Superman movie is something that's doable, but we don't know exactly if it's profitable. Now, because Alcock is Australian, the director is Craig Gillespie. He's also Australian. I didn't know that. The article reads as if the writer has inside knowledge. Maybe he's Australian. We don't know. But the problem, it appears, is that Forbes lets almost anybody write for the site. And a lot of their reporting is opinion dressed up as industry expertise. Or at least those are the claims. I'm not saying that. I'm not even sure if Matt McGloin is saying that. I just know that there are some very much certified experts that write for Forbes. I just don't know anything about Forbes Australia. What we do know is that James Gunn actually shoots it down. Forbes wrote that the mix of naivete and composure has defined her rise to success in just 5 years. Alcock has gone from inner West Sydney to global recognition in House of Dragon and soon a superhero suit. Her name now sits beside the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow logo, a $200 million DC feature directed by fellow Australian Craig Gillespie. A fan immediately ran to Gunn on Threads to confirm it. And Gunn replied, not even a little true. Not even a little true. So apparently the claim is false, or the film didn't cost that much, or doesn't cost that much, or won't eventually cost that much. I mean, we never really know anymore with whether or not these films are ever really done and or already marketed, or they didn't spend money elsewhere or aren't planning on spending more money somehow. But apparently, the claim is false, so whether the real number is even higher or lower isn't clear. Of course, it's not. It's James Gunn. But Gunn wouldn't correct it unless it was way off. And yes, it's worth noting that Gunn also denied early Superman budget reports that multiple outlets, including Forbes, stated that the final number ended up much closer to $350 million, which I actually reported here on this channel. And I think Matt McGloin also reported over on his website, Cosmic Book News. Superman's profitable debate is still a matter of import, at least to somebody like me, obviously to Matt McGloin, and certainly to Warner Brothers, since they're about to be acquired. It looks like that's going to be won by Paramount by default at this point. But there's also been some question if Gunn's Superman was a financial success. As I recently went over, I think the answer to that is loud and clear. The same studio is dating the Minecraft sequel only 2 weeks after Man of Tomorrow, which my takeaway isn't a good sign. Minecraft is likely to do gangbusters, and I'm not sure that Supergirl is necessarily going to break the bank. In fact, that's the question. Can Supergirl break the streak, at least as far as the supers go? Hollywood hasn't had a successful female superhero film since Zack Snyder's Wonder Woman. Gunn's Superman didn't land internationally, in fact, not even a little bit, to use his own terms, and Supergirl appears to carry the same comedic and goofy tone as Gunn's DCU projects, which, to be very fair, I'm not a big fan of. I want a serious Superman with some heart, and it's just not what I got out of the latest efforts. The only thing that might save the movie is Jason Momoa's Lobo, who saw big success with the first Aquaman movie that he was in, and even the sequel, which kind of failed, but not because of him. The sequel mega bombed because of, well, the Amber Heard connection, and then a whole lot of story that made zero sense. And, of course, nothing to follow that would have been important since they were killing off the Snyderverse. But we've been told that they liked Momoa so much as Lobo that they added even more Lobo into the flick. That's almost never a good sign as far as I'm concerned. There is also a rumor that says they added David Corenswet as Superman, which means, well, Supergirl could be super bloated and super overcrowded and make really not a whole lot of super sense at the end of the day. Whether all of that is enough to lift Supergirl is another question entirely, which I agree with. It's hard to say that this thing coming out in June is going to be a winner. It's maybe a little too early to call. We have no early looks, we have no early leans, and we don't even have a synopsis or plot leak at this point, and no trailers to even draw from. So what are we looking at? Looks like a goofy, half-drunk Supergirl character that may or may not be as entertaining or engaging as Wonder Woman. And yet, this weekend at CCXP, they will be promoting this particular film, and we might get a little bit of visuals. So keep your eyes open this weekend, and I may put something else out there on social media, so be sure to follow me on X. On that note, what do you think? Do you think that Supergirl is going to be a winner? Do you think this will give James Gunn an opportunity to stretch his legs and get things going for a universe that nobody's really quite sure of yet, including the folks over at Paramount, let alone Warner Brothers? Do you think that Jason Momoa is going to be enough to carry this film forward, or to at least add enough to it to make people genuinely interested in Supergirl or even the next Superman follow-up? Do you think this will truly be the summer that's super for a relaunched DC universe that I don't think anybody's been looking forward to? Or do you think that Milly Alcock may not be the hit queen that they really want her to be? All of those are genuine questions. I'm looking for your genuine answers. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya for real. Probably reading Forbes.